So, Prepatch is here, and I'm here to show you all of the changes and the rotation we'll be doing for the next few weeks. Don't worry, this is going to be a high-level guide, and I will be showing you a full, in-depth guide once MoP actually launches. So, what the hell has changed to us Arms Warriors? Well, Mortal Strike no longer costs rage, and instead generates 10 rage. That's a win in my book. Overpower works off a charge system, so the spell now costs 10 rage and has a reduced global cooldown. So we can use it when we use our Mortal Strike, and then we get 2 charges of Overpower. So each charge of Mortal Strike does give you 2 charges. I think I just said that. And then each charge of Overpower will actually then reduce the cooldown on Mortal Strike. Slam is now just a massive instant rage dump, so it no longer has a cast time and does cost 25 rage. And then we also have Sweeping Strikes. When it's active, Slam is actually going to hit all other nearby enemies within 2 yards for some of the damage dealt as well. The cooldown has been massively reduced on Sweeping Strikes, meaning we can get a lot higher uptime on it. It's on a 10-second cooldown and lasts 10 seconds, so you could pretty much have it up at all times if you are looking at hitting multiple enemies. We can also use our Execute to grant Sudden Execute, making Overpower cost no rage for 10 seconds, so once our enemy has low health, that's really useful. And Sudden Death also now grants both auto attacks and our Mastery a chance to reset Colossus Smash's cooldown. This guide is generally for people that are already playing Arms Warrior and just want a bit of an update for the pre-patch. Like I said, I will be doing a full in-depth guide for Arms Warrior when the second that MoP fully launches. The other change is Recklessness. It now grants 30% increased critical strike chance and has a 3-minute cooldown. Things like Rend, Deadly Calm, Inner Rage, Retaliation, Intercept, and Throwdown have all been completely removed, and we've got some new abilities in the form of a War Banner. So the main one we're going to be using in combat, it's basically a 3-minute cooldown, and you get to choose which War Banner you want. We'll be using Skull Banner. So when you use it, you literally put a banner down like this. It's pretty cool, if you ask me. And this is going to increase the critical damage of party and raid members by 20% nearby. We also have Die by the Sword, which is a new defensive cooldown, increasing your parry chance and reducing damage taken. We've also got all new talents, of course. So the way it works now is at level 15, 30, 45, 60, etc., you get to choose one, and we can replace it whenever we want using Tomes of the Clear Mind, which you can just buy on the auction house. On the first line, I'd recommend going for either Juggernaut or Double Time. You can charge twice in a row, helping you get around a bit faster, or Juggernaut, where you can charge every 12 seconds instead of every 20. I think Double Time is really much better in this opinion. In Rage Regeneration, instantly healing you for 10% of your total health and an additional 10%. This is obviously a defensive cooldown. Or Second Wind, which is a passive version. When you are lower than 35% health, you're going to regenerate 3% health per second. So it just depends kind of if you want an instant heal or a more passive thing when you reach low health. I'd go for Disrupting Shout at level 45, interrupting all spellcasting nearby, which is amazing. It's only on a 40-second cooldown. Finally, an interrupt that can actually, that is nearly as good as Solar Beam from Balance Druids. It does share a 15-second cooldown with our other interrupt, which is Pummel, though. At level 60, our best DPS increase will be Dragon Roar, which is basically a 1-minute cooldown AoE shout that does a load of damage and knocks back our enemies. Safeguard, Vigilance, or Mass Spell Reflection. You can go with either one here. Mass Spell Reflection will reflect the next spell cast on you and all party and raid members, so really useful. Safeguard, you basically, it replaces your Intervene. You run up to your enemy, intercept them, reducing their damage taken, and removing all movement impairing effects from yourself. Whereas Vigilance reduces somebody else's damage taken by 12 seconds. Lastly, Bloodbath is what you're going to be using at level 90. Obviously, we can't get that yet, but just as an FYI, this is what we'll be using when you get there, when MoP fully launches. Basically, all your attacks will deal an additional bleed amount when used. And for your major glyphs at the moment, because it's just major and minor now, Glyph of Unending Rage, you increase maximum rage by 20. Your charge generates an additional 15 rage. And then Glyph of Rude Interruption, where successfully interrupting will actually heal you. You could also go for Colossus Smash, where it also applies Sunder Armor to your target. For a quick update on the rotation, it's pretty simple. Charge in to generate rage. use Mortal Strike on cooldown, use Colossus Smash to get those debuffs up on your target, use Execute as your Rage Dump whenever you can, use your stacks of Overpower whenever you can, and then Rage Dump using Heroic Strike, and also Slam to spend all of that rage. And use Berserker Rage to get enraged and deal more damage. In multi-target, you can use Sweeping Strikes, so that your single target rotation will hit 2 enemies, and then when you've got more enemies, you can use Thunderclap and Whirlwind as your Rage Dump. You can also use Cleave as your Rage Dump if you're only fighting 2 enemies. For defensive cooldowns, you've got Rallying Cry, increasing maximum health for everyone, Enraged Regeneration, healing you, which we mentioned in the talents, and Die by the Sword, which we mentioned as well. For offensive cooldowns, we have Shattering Throw, reducing the armor on the target, so it's technically a raid buff for everyone because it reduces armor on the target, meaning everyone's DPS will be increased. War Banner, which we've spoken about for Skull Banner, Dragon Roar used on cooldown, Bloodbath used on cooldown, and Recklessness increasing your crit chance, which in tandem will actually increase how much enrage you get. Again, this is just a high-level rotation guide for people who are wanting it. If you want just an update of what's going on in the pre-patch, this isn't a full in-depth guide on why we're doing things, etc. This is more aimed at people already playing Arms Warrior and just wanted, like I said, a bit of an update. I will be doing a full in-depth guide, whether you're new or a veteran, as soon as MoP fully launches on the 21st. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.